want to thank Dr. Bolt and all those at Cecil College, these gentlemen, I think it's all gentlemen who prepared today, running the microphones, the lights and so forth, outstanding individuals. Cecil College is always at the ready to volunteer their facilities and their time. They are having the Little Mermaid right behind us, so you can open up and see part of the set now if you want. It starts April 15th and it ends May 1st. It's not every day, but you can go online and catch those. Let's thank Cecil College for hosting it. Running for the Board of Education in District 1 are Mr. William Manlove, who is the incumbent. Mr. Manlove. Mr. Kevin Emmerich, who's running for District 1. Give him a hand. I'm sorry to make you walk all the way down, but I didn't think they could see you up the top. I'll give you time to get back up there.
Just like the pickle.
There you go. Thank you both very much. As stated previously, in the Board of Education election, in the primary election, if there are more than 2 candidates, then the primary matters. The top 2 vote getters move on to the general election, in which they will square off against each other in the general election in November. And with that, Board of Education is nonpartisan. There is no Republican, there is no Democrat. It's people who are interested in serving the youth of Cecil County who run for this office. I'm very pleased to introduce to you the candidates in District 2 this evening. Ms. Erin Dordan. Mr. James Facino. Mr. Ron Lobos. Each of you will have 2 minutes to introduce yourselves, your reason you are running, your priorities if elected, and we'll start with Ms. Dordan.
Good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight to listen to the candidates running for office in Cecil County. I want to thank the Cecil County Chamber of Commerce Government Relations Committee for hosting this forum and for establishing the priorities to be discussed this evening. My name is Erin Dordan and I am running for District 2 seat on the Board of Education. I am mom of 2 wonderful, bright young men who attend public schools in this county. Liam is 12 in 6th grade in Elkton Middle School, and Caleb is 10 in 4th grade at Gilpin Manor Elementary School. I work full-time in Wilmington, Delaware as an employment consultant at ServiceSource. I support students with disabilities transitioning from high school into the workplace. I decided to run for this position after attending a school advocacy committee meeting, where I learned of the need for a qualified candidate who would support the schools and the students. My desire to support my sons in their journey through the public schools and to provide them with the best opportunity to learn and succeed has landed me on this stage tonight to bring about a better future for my sons and for all students receiving an education in our county public schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dordan. Mr. Facino.
Good evening. My name is Jim Fazzino. I'm proud to be running for the Cecil County Board of Education. I too want to thank the Chamber for organizing the event tonight, Cecil College for hosting us in this beautiful space, and to you, the members of our community, for coming out, being a part of the conversation. I've been campaigning over the past several months with what I think is a simple yet powerful message. Strong communities need strong schools. I believe in Cecil County, and I believe in the future of education in Cecil County. I have 2 young kindergartners in Cecil County Public Schools, and I want their journey over the next 12 years and the journey of the almost 16,000 other children that our county schools educate to be one of exceptional experience. My wife Melissa is a product of Cecil County Public Schools, attending Kenmore Elementary School, Cherry Hill Middle School, and graduating from Elkton High School. I'm a concerned community member. I want my children one day to look back on their experiences in this county, a strong county, and make a commitment to stay here. I also want to bring about awareness to 3 main priorities for me. First and foremost, that our role is a responsible role for all children, that we educate each child regardless of ability and circumstance. that we educate each child regardless of the zip code that they live in, that we provide our teachers and our schools and facilities with adequate resources to meet the challenge of educating students to be globally competitive in the 21st century. And I want to increase our ability from school to communicate effectively, to build partnerships, to engage in appropriate conversation, to eliminate the misinformation in our community, and support our schools going forward, because I believe a strong community needs strong schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Facino. Mr. Lobos.
Good evening. Today is Vietnam Veterans Day, and I'd like to take this opportunity to lead you in a moment of silence to honor these brave men. Again, thank you. My name is Ron Lobos, and I'm running for school board. I'm a graduate of Towson University and presently work with my wife in a real estate appraisal business. My son graduated from Elton High School about 13 years ago, and I have a grandson getting ready to start kindergarten. The original purpose of the school board was to have a form of checks and balances where the public school system would manage the schools, with the school board being used as an oversight committee whose job it is to steer the schools in the direction that the county citizens desire. Currently, we have a school board made up of 3 school mothers, 1 teacher, and a former commissioner. And while I know that they have worked very hard at their job, I would like to see this board more diversified so that the interests of all of the county taxpayers are represented more equally. It is important that all decisions made will be done in such a way to benefit all of our children, not only in the educational department, but all of their aspects of life. It's important that we involve our children in the community and encourage them to engage in their faith. And finally, it is important to get parents involved with their children in education. And equally important that the CCPS learns to listen to the wishes of these parents and to all of the people in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lobos. We will now commence with our questions.
Ms. Jordan, good evening. Do you believe the 16,000 students attending Cecil County Public Schools are receiving a quality education? Yes, 60 seconds, please.
I do believe that they're receiving a quality education. I think that there are many areas that need to be identified in order to improve that education. But like I said before, my sons attend public schools, and thus far I'm very pleased with the education that they're receiving from the public schools.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Facino, same question, 60 seconds, please.
Certainly. I do believe that our children are receiving an appropriate and effective education, but I also recognize that there are barriers that are maybe of no fault of our own children's ability to access that education. And while we present an exceptional educational experience in our public schools, I want to make sure that we're investing appropriate time and attention to areas to break down barriers to ensure students who may traditionally be, research says, unsuccessful because of certain obstacles, are able to overcome those obstacles and ensure that they too can access the education that we're putting forth.
Thank you. Mr. Lobos, same question, 60 seconds, please.
All right. I do believe they're receiving a quality education. However, I have some concerns about the future. And most of all, I have concerns about Common Core. I'm not an advocate of Common Core, where one size fits all. See, one size doesn't fit all. When I first got out of college, I moved to North Dakota. I lived in Fargo. And I learned a different type of people lived there than lived here. Good people, just like here, but they were different. They didn't have the same needs as the people here. And my feeling is that decisions that affect their education should be made on a local level and not on a national basis. Nobody knows better what the needs of those children than the teachers and the principals of the schools in those local communities. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lobos, how much is the current operating budget for Cecil County Public Schools, and what percentage of the revenue necessary to fund that budget comes from the federal government, the state government, and local Cecil County government? 60 seconds, please.
I believe it's approaching $200 million. to be more exact, is probably around 192 million. Roughly about 43% comes from the county, about 47% comes from the state, and the remainder come from from the federal government. Was there more to that question than that? All right, thank you very much.
And they didn't give us the answers, so I don't know if that's right.
Well, they're right. I've been to all the budget meetings, and I've tried to learn as much as I can about this. Very interesting.
Mr. Fazio, do you want to debate his percentages?
No.
Ms. Jordan?
No.
Mr. Casino, are there current instructional programs in Cecil County Public Schools that you feel are highly effective? Please cite examples, this is part 2. Are there current instructional programs in the Cecil County Public Schools that you feel need to be improved or dropped? And again, please cite examples.
I would go immediately to looking at the new Cecil County School of Technology, looking at the bridge between community partnerships and industry and business in the area and the youngsters that that facility is currently serving. As we look at projected growth in the allied health industry in and of itself, we recognize that in about 15 to 20 years, the number of job availability versus number of students adequately prepared, there's a deficit. So there is need to ensure students are adequately prepared to meet those expectations. So I look at the work that's happening currently at our School of Technology and want to ensure that we continue to grow and develop programs that are accessible to all of our students. As I'm looking for programs that need to be eliminated, I would say don't eliminate programs for students, as each student is different and unique. Like I said before, I have twins. They are two very different people. So we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of every child here in Cecil County, and through that programming, provide them with an equitable opportunity to be productive members of a future Cecil County.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Could you please?
Yes, sure. Are there current instructional programs in the Cecil County Public Schools that you feel are highly effective? And please cite examples. And the second part of that, are there current instructional programs in the Cecil County Public Schools that you feel need to be improved or dropped? And again, please cite examples.
Okay. The instructional programs that I think are doing a great job, I'm unable to list at this time. They've slipped my mind. But my sons definitely benefit from several of the instructional programs within the schools. I can't speak about the grades that my sons haven't been in because I'm very unfamiliar with those so far. But as far as any instructional programs that need to be removed from the public schools, I would absolutely, again, say that they don't need to be. There may be areas that need to be looked at as far as improving those programs, but I feel that we need to make sure that we're supporting all students' needs, the students who are achieving great measures, and as well as the students who are struggling to meet those measures in the schools.
Thank you. Mr. Lobos, the same question.
Yes, please, if you could repeat it one more time, it gives me a little more time to think.
Are there current instructional programs in the Cecil County Public Schools that you feel are highly effective? And please cite examples. Are there current instructional programs in the Cecil County Public Schools that you feel need to be improved or dropped? And again, please cite examples.
Thank you. I'm a strong supporter of the trade schools. I wish they would have started this many years earlier, and they had that opportunity, but we had some commissioners who spoke out against it and it never happened. I'm so glad it happened now. We need that type of education on people who are not college bound. As far as being college bound, I would like to see us expand on making the abilities of students to get through college easier or more available. One of those things would be inviting recruiters such as the Air National Guard. These people are the ones, the Air National Guard are the people who come around when we have a hurricane or a flood, and they serve water, they give them places to stay. They join the Air National Guard, and the Guard gives them a free education pretty much in college. It's all paid for. And when they get out, they're on the VA. I work with VA appraisers. They're able to buy a house with no money down. There are great rewards for people who give back to their country.
Ms. Dorton, if elected to the school board, after 1 year as a board member, how will people describe you? What will they say about your service on the school board?
I believe that people would say that I'm cooperative, that I bring thoughtfulness to the board, that I collaborate well, that I am innovative thinker, and I like to research and learn as much as I possibly can about what I'm getting involved in and how I can make a difference. I believe that I will make a difference, and I think that it will be evident very quickly after, if I'm elected to the board.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lobos, same question, please.
I think after 1 year, people will love me. I think they'll say this guy brought so many positive changes to the school that we can't even stand it anymore. And I think they'll be asking me to run for an additional 4 years. Thank you very much.
I'm going to try and follow that up. I think I'll probably get what I've been receiving since I announced my candidacy, which was, please stop asking so many questions, take a day off. In all honesty, it would be Jim is boots on the ground. I'm not the one who has said that. For those of you who follow social media, elected officials, feel free. They'll say Jim asks too many questions, and they'll probably ask, why does Jim ask so many questions? And then ask additional questions. And I say, you know, with almost 2 decades of experience as a leader in education, first as a high school teacher and then building leader and an administrator, you ask questions that form more questions, and you reach out. And so I'm sure the folks at Carver would say, yeah, Jim needs to take some time off from his dedication to this responsibility, but I won't, because I love our community and I love our schools.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lobos, can you cite examples of how the school system can partner with other entities to become more efficient and effective? 60 seconds.
Oh, wow, I wish I had more time for this one. You know, there's a lot of things we could do. I would love to see the students get more involved with their communities. I'd love to see them go out and see what life is really about outside of those school rooms at the end of the day. Maybe do volunteer work with the fire departments or the police department, or maybe be part of the maintenance of the buildings that are done. Simple things like painting classrooms. There's so many things that can make our students feel like they're part of our society here. There's just too many to answer. But I think one of the keys to getting our children ready for their life outside of school after graduation is to make them part of the community around them. Thank you.
Mr. Fazzino, same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, thank you. I'm grateful that we have students committed to service learning hours when they can take advantage of those opportunities to commit and contribute to the community. But if I'm looking strategically at what the Chamber of Commerce has identified as a legislative priority, I look at the second one, which was to support a well-educated populace in combating, unfortunately, the impacts of substance abuse in the county. So looking at partnering with local agencies, including mental health facilities, certainly local law enforcement, bringing the schools into serious conversations about, one, how do we combat the problem in the county as it is currently, and two, how do we strategically plan for an intervention early? I know that we have on the current budget one more position for drug education, which is critical, but facilitating more involvement with our students and appropriate activities after school so they feel a sense of confidence, and how we can work as a community to bring our young people into the fold so they don't make those dangerous decisions.
Thank you. Ms. Dorton,
Could you repeat it?
repeat the question. Can you cite examples of how the school system can partner with other entities to become more efficient and effective?
So I would like to see more mentoring programs within the schools. I know that several businesses throughout the Cecil County are mentoring within the school system, but I would like to see more businesses offering that kind of partnership with the schools, mentoring students who possibly either have an interest in that kind of business or possibly just need that additional support. Maybe they aren't getting it at home, or they need, someone to see a role model. I would like to see our schools participate in something very similar to the breast cancer awareness. They do the Relay for Life, possibly a drug awareness Relay for Life. I know they do these at the high schools throughout the county, and I think that if students were involved, they could be raising money possibly for their schools to bring in new.
Mr. Pacino, outside the attendance of official board meetings, education meetings, as an elected official, what other duties do you do as representing the Board of Ed?
I think first and foremost is being an active community member myself. Besides, visiting with children and their successes and celebrations, sporting events, musicals and musical performances, it's important to be a part of the school fabric and in the schools, hearing perspectives from teachers and administrators, listening to the children in the community. I believe it's critical that we open communication between school and community in as many avenues possible, including being open to comment through social media, to increasing our capacity to push information out to our community about what is happening with our schools, why it's happening, to take a look at our strategic plan and the initiatives around reaching those goals. So I think as a school board member, you have to embrace the responsibility beyond evening meetings and the visits to the school for the celebrations, but you have to really dig into the work and make sure that every child is receiving an exceptional experience regardless of their abilities or disabilities, regardless of their circumstances.
Ms. Jordan, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Outside the attendance at official Board of Education meetings, as an elected official, what other duties do you have representing the Board of Ed?
So I think that as a member of the Board of Education, I would be advocating at local level, state level, and also at the national level for the schools and for policies and laws, as well as making sure that we are getting the kind of positive press that we need to celebrate the student successes, the teacher successes, and even the administration successes as a community and as a county.
Thank you. Mr. Lobos, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. I'll tell you, there's probably two things I would start off with. The first thing I would do is during the first year, I would want to visit every one of the schools in the county. There's 29 schools. I'd like to visit all 29 principals and spend a day there and find out exactly what's happening at each of those schools. The teachers and the principals know best what's happening in their community and at that particular school. And that's something I need the knowledge, I need to know. The second thing I like to do is I would like to create a staff for myself. Non-paid, of course, so don't worry about the budget. Create a staff much like Dr. Devine does and surround myself with 8 people from the community. Retired people, students, working people who don't have time to contribute, but build a staff of 8 and bring their ideas with me to the board and try to get the CCPS to work with me in bringing these new ideas into the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you.
That includes our questions for the candidates for the Board of Education. Each of you will have 60 seconds to summarize your candidacy. We'll start with Mr. Pacino.
I'm hoping tonight that I was able to give a small glimpse into the care and the concern that I have for our community. I recognize the value that education has moving forward as a community, and the single greatest investment that I can think of for my own children is their education. I'm committed to ensuring that we move forward in education with good work, good partnerships, great communication, and a strong message of cohesion among all groups. I do want to take a moment and thank all the folks who have been working with me, the folks who have given up their time to answer my many questions and host me in their buildings. I want to give thanks to the Cecil Library for meeting with me so I can understand their perspective on education in our county. I want to thank elected officials who have had conversations with me regarding the role of education in particular feeder patterns in particular towns in this county. And certainly, last but not least, I do want to thank Melissa Fazino, my wife. She's my rock and still a rock star.
Mr. Lobos.
Well, there's a lot of work to be done. If you're looking for someone who represents your interests, who are part of the establishment, I'm not your guy. I do, however, know that many of our Cecil County citizens are reluctant to follow the CCPS when it comes to budget time. Every year, the county gives the CCPS more and more money, and the following year, they come back and tell us that it's not enough. And that may be true, but it may not be. Last year, we gave the CCPS $4.3 million, and that same month, they put $1.8 million into the trust fund that was left over from the previous year. It's gotten to the point where many of the citizens in Cecil County feel that when it comes to a need for more money, the public schools are crying wolf. Now, if there's only one thing I want you to remember when you leave here tonight, that is, how do you say wolf in Spanish? Lobos, that's right. Cry wolf, my friends.
Ms. Stewart, please summarize your comments.
If I'm elected to the school board, I will work very hard to learn to understand, the priorities of the school board, the public schools, to make sure that the students' needs are being met. I'm passionate, and I adore my sons. I adore their friends. I went to North Bay with my sixth grader, and found that to be an extremely valuable experience. That many of the students that were on that trip to North Bay had never been on a boat on our Chesapeake Bay, which is shocking, but it's true because we have such a diverse community. So I will make sure that each student receives a quality education here in this county. Thank you.
Three candidates for the Board of Education, District 2. Please thank them once again. We're going to reconvene in 12 minutes. That's 7:45 to start with our county executive candidates. Thank you.